Hi everyone, welcome to Stretch Break. My name is Amber Langford. Thanks for joining. For today's stretch break, we will be doing these stretches using a chair. For our first couple exercises, we will be standing. So I'm gonna have you guys go and grab your chairs, and then I want you to move and stand behind your chair because we're gonna be using the back for a little bit of support. If you are using an office chair, I would recommend that you lock those wheels so you don't have to worry about your chair moving on you. We're going to start with our feet today. So I want you to begin standing behind your chair. Our feet are going to be side by side, about hip width apart. We're going to begin first on this left side. All we're going to do is lift that heel. We're going to be pressing the bottom of our toes into that ground, actively trying to press that front of our ankle forward, stretching those toes out, getting a little bit of a stretch down the bottom of our foot as well. We're just going to hold this for a few seconds. While we're holding these stretches, I want you to take nice deep breaths. Our breaths, we're going to be inhaling through our nose and exhaling through our mouth. From here, we're going to keep our foot in the same position, but we're going to roll our toes under. So now the tops of our toes are pressing down into the ground, still pressing that ankle forward. We're now switching that stretch to more of that front of the ankle into our shin. Taking nice deep breaths. Last inhale and exhale. Go ahead and lower that left foot down, straightening that leg. We're going to switch sides. Now we're going to bend our right knee, lifting that right heel off the ground. For this one, I want you to press the bottom of our toes down into the ground. Ankle pushes forward. We're stretching out the bottom of our foot. Getting a little bit of a toe stretch as well. Working on that extension. From here, I want you to roll those toes over, pressing the bottom of our toes into the ground. Ankle presses forward, switching that stretch to the front of our ankle into that shin. And relaxing out of that. We're going to do a little bit of mobility, fluidly moving through those feet just to get them warmed up and moving a little bit more today. So what we're going to do is some prancing. We're going to bend that left knee, lifting that left heel off the ground. We're going to put some pressure into that foot, straightening both knees, lifting both heels off the ground. And then we're going to lower that left heel down, bending that right knee, and then switch. So we're going to be alternating that bottom foot, alternating that bend and straighten, working all the way through that ankle joint, going up onto those toes, and then lowering one side. Trying to get as much range of motion as possible. Let's do one more in each direction and relax out of that. We're going to do a standing lunge next. So I want you to step back with that right leg. We're going to go into a standing lunge. Front leg is bent, hands are holding onto the back of our chair. We're going to press those hips forward, deepening that lunge. We're opening up the front of our right hip. Chest is staying nice and upright. If you want a little bit of a calf stretch, you can try to press that back heel down into the ground. That will help you get a little bit of a calf stretch as well as a hip flexor stretch with this lunge. Two more deep breaths here. Bringing both feet in together, we're going to switch sides. Left leg goes back into that lunge, keeping our back leg straight. Hips are pressing forward, opening up that left hip flexor. Trying to get as deep into that lunge as possible. Trying to sink a little bit deeper with each exhale. Letting those muscles relax and loosen up. Let's do two more deep breaths in this position. And bring both feet up together. We're still going to be standing, but we're going to be moving around to either the front or the side of your chair. We're going to be in a bent over position. We're going to have our feet on the ground, and we're going to bend at the waist and place our hands right on the seat of our chair. We're going to have our shoulders stacked over our wrists. If you have an armrest, you may need to walk all the way to the front of your chair. Once we're in this position, we are going to do some cat-cows. So we're going to tuck that chin under, tucking that tailbone, rounding our back, getting as rounded as possible. Once we've reached that end point, we're going to inhale and exhale, lowering that chest down, lifting our chin and our tailbone up, extending that spine. Inhale and exhale, moving back to that rounded position. Trying to get as much range of motion in our back as possible before we move into that extension once again. We're going to do 4 repetitions here. Rounding, tucking that chin, tucking that tailbone, and then dropping that chest. Extending, lifting that chin up, lifting that tailbone up. Let's do one more here. Once you've completed your extension, I want you to lift that chest back up. We're going to keep a nice neutral flat back here. And we're going to work out those wrists a little bit. So we're going to start first with our left hand. We're going to turn and place our fingers so they're pointed towards our body. And we're going to slowly straighten our elbow, trying to press our whole hand, that whole palm into the chair, stretching out that forearm. If you need a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can lean those shoulders back, increasing that joint angle at the wrist. We're just going to hold here. And relaxing out of that. We just did some extension, so now we're going to do some flexion. I want your fingers still pointed towards your body, but this time we're going to try to press that back of the hand into the chair. You might have a little bit less range of motion in this direction. That's okay. For example, the back of my hand cannot actually reach the whole chair of the seat. Staying in that comfortable range where you feel a nice little stretch without any pain. And relax out of that. Placing our left hand down, we're going to switch sides. Taking that right hand, turning it so our fingers are facing our body. Straightening our arm, pressing our whole hand into the chair. Leaning those shoulders back if we need a little bit of a deeper stretch. And relaxing out of that, flipping our hand over. So the back of the hand is actively trying to press into the chair. Straightening out your elbow. Stretching that opposite side of our wrist. And relax out of that. Slowly walk those hands in and come on up to a stand. We're going to move to a seated position in our chair. We go ahead and have a seat. We're going to begin by sitting a little bit more on the edge of our chair. We're going to straighten both legs out in front of us, feet together. We're going to flex our toes back towards our shins. And we're going to take our hands and we're just going to reach down our legs, reaching for the floor, reaching for those feet, stretching the back of our thighs. You can let your head just hang, relaxing that neck. Try to get a little bit deeper into that stretch with each breath. One more inhale and exhale, walking those hands back up, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to bend our knees, and what we're going to do next is still sitting on the edge of our chair. We're going to take our right leg, we're going to move it out to the right, off to the side. Left leg, we're going to do the same thing, moving it out and opening it up to the left. So we're going to be in a little bit of a straddled position here. From this position, we're going to let those knees drop in towards the ground. We're doing a little bit of internal rotation with those hips. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can bring those feet in a little bit more. When we bring our legs closer together, we have to internally rotate a little bit more. It's a little bit more challenging. Trying to get those knees to touch. Feet are staying out wide. Sitting up nice and tall. And relax out of that. Opening our legs back up. We're going to widen our stance. Sitting up tall, we're going to actively press the insides of our knees open, stretching those inner thighs. While holding those knees out, bracing our hands on the tops of our thighs. We're just going to lean our chest down towards the floor, deepening that stretch, widening that stance. Let's add some rotation. Go ahead and drop that right shoulder down towards the ground, looking up over our left shoulder. Both hands are still staying on those sides. We're using that to brace ourselves and maintain balance. Return to center, and then switching sides, dropping that left shoulder down, looking up over our right shoulder. Coming back to center and slowly coming on up to a seated position. Go ahead and bring your legs in, hands off to the side. Let's do one big shoulder roll up towards the ears, back, down and around, and relax out of that. That is all of these stretches I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. This was our stretch break. My name is Amber. I hope you feel a little bit looser and you're ready to get right back into your Wednesday. Have a great day, everyone. Hope to see you next time.